Hello and welcome to Exploring Christianity, a Journey of Faith. In our last video, we looked at the Israelites and where they fit into the Old Testament story. Doing the research for that video made me wonder about the terms Semites, Hebrews, Israelites, and Jews. Are these all labels for the same groups of people, or are there differences between them? As we've mentioned in earlier videos, the term Semites, which was originally Shemites, refers to the descendants of Noah's son Shem. In the Hebrew language, the characters for S, sin, and sh, shin, are the same except for where a small little dot goes, so it's easy to see how that word changed over time. Scholars don't seem to agree on where the term Hebrews came from. One theory that I saw multiple times is that Hebrews indicated that they were descendants from Shem's great-grandson Eber, who is also known as Heber. So if this theory is correct, originally Semites included all the descendants of Shem, but Hebrews were only a subset of those people, those descended from Eber. Similarly, the name Israelites are the descendants of Judah, whom God later renamed Israel. So not all Hebrews were Israelites, but all Israelites were Hebrews. Before we talk about the final name, Jews, there are a few things that it helps to understand. As we just said, the descendants of the man named Israel were called the Israelites. It is also the case that the land where they settled in Canaan became known as Israel. And the Old Testament frequently uses the name Israel instead of Israelites to refer collectively to the people who lived in Israel, who were the descendants of the man named Israel. So the name Israel applies to all of a man, a land, and a people. This is similar to how America was named after the explorer Amerigo Vespucci, and the people who live there are called Americans. The land of Israel was divided up among Israel's sons. For each of them, their portion of Israel became known by their names. So the land granted to the man Judah was also called Judah. Also, the people who lived there, who are the descendants of the man named Judah, are the Judahites, shortened to Judites, shortened to the Jews. And like with the name Israel, the Old Testament will also refer to the descendants of Judah with the name Judah instead of the name Judahites. So, the name Judah is again a man, a land, and a people, and the name Jews were both the people of the land of Judah and the descendants of the man named Judah. Confusing much? Hang on, it gets worse. As we saw in the video, What's the Storyline of the Old Testament, after the time of King Solomon, the Israelites split into two groups. The group that split off from the rest of the Israelites was called Judah, or sometimes the Kingdom of Judah. It actually consisted of both the land of Judah and the land of Benjamin, but since the land of Benjamin was so much smaller than the land of Judah, they lost the vote on the name. The capital of the new kingdom of Judah was in Jerusalem, which, as you can see, was actually in the land of Benjamin. Additionally, supporters of the new kingdom left their lands and relocated to the kingdom of Judah. So now the name Judah meant a man, the land named Judah, the kingdom of Judah that consisted of the land of Judah and the land of Benjamin, the people of the land of Judah, the original people of the kingdom of Judah, and the people of the original kingdom of Judah plus the supporters who moved there. So, the name Jews could now be applied to any of these peoples, and the name Israelites continued to be applied collectively to both these people and the other tribes that were part of Israel but not in the kingdom of Judah. The rest of the tribes became known as the Kingdom of Israel, or just Israel, which meant the part of the land of Israel that were not in the land of Judah or the land of Benjamin, and the people who lived there. To recap, originally, Semites were the larger group, including all the descendants of Shem, some of which were also Hebrews, who may have been the descendants of Eber or Heber. Some of the Hebrews were also Israelites, who were the descendants of Jacob, also known as Israel. And some of the Israelites were also Jews, who were the descendants of Judah or Benjamin or the other sons of Israel who joined the kingdom of Judah when the Israelites split into two kingdoms. That being said, I also learned that today these terms are basically used interchangeably, with the exception of Semites, which really isn't used at all anymore. So the distinctions we talked about today are helpful for understanding the Old Testament, but not needed when discussing current events. Did these distinctions help you understand anything you didn't know before about the Old Testament?